This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
Good riddance, but the problems at this agency transcend any one person.
I wasn't expecting the call today, but super excited.
Iran is a player when it comes to the oil market.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
You're fired. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Mark Webster. Donald Trump made that line famous during his time on the TV show The Apprentice, but today he used it on Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem after she apparently rang up one too many liabilities in Trump's eyes.
Noem's departure caps a tenure filled with controversy over several issues, including immigration enforcement tactics, the deaths of 2 protesters in Minneapolis, the treatment of detainees deported to third-party countries, and her handling of disaster responses.
CBS's Linda Kenyon at the White House. An incident in our area might have played a role in Noem's demise. At a Wednesday House hearing, she was asked about the death of Nurul Amin Shah Alam in Buffalo. Democrat Jerry Nadler asked her then if DHS had planned to work with Erie County, New York to find out what happened.
Erie County is currently mounting an investigation. Will you at the very least commit today that DHS will cooperate with the investigation by local authorities in New York of Mr. Shah Alam's death? Yes or no?
Which case are you talking about, sir?
Shah Alam, the one who was
We will
released.
certainly look at that, but I want you to know that the investigations...
Will you cooperate with the local authorities? Yes
I
or
don't
no?
conduct the investigations that are outside within the umbrella of ICE and CBC.
I'll take that as a no.
Border Patrol agents dropped off Shah Alam at a closed Tim Hortons restaurant in Buffalo February 19th. Cold conditions at the time. He was not wearing shoes. He was found dead 5 days later. Democratic lawmakers quick to pounce on today's news.
Good riddance, but the problems at this agency, at ICE, transcend any one person.
New York's Chuck Schumer. Trump's pick to replace Noem is Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen.
I wasn't expecting the call today, but super excited. And I'm more excited about just ready to get started. There's a lot of work we can do. Department of Homeland Security has a very broad jurisdiction. We're going to try to earn everybody's vote.
Noem will stay in the top DHS post until the end of the month while Mullen's confirmation process plays out. Then she'll begin a new job as special envoy to Shield of the Americas. That's a new initiative in the Western Hemisphere, which will be formally announced on Saturday. Well, from the Western Hemisphere to the Middle East. An Iranian drone striking a target in neighboring Azerbaijan. One of the Day 6 developments in Operation Epic Fury. CBS's Matt Gutman says it's a race against the clock.
Can the U.S. and Israel destroy Iran's missile capability before they run out of those anti-missile interceptors? We also understand that the longer this war lasts, and Secretary Hegseth is talking about up to 8 weeks, the more it favors Iran, because for them, the bar is very low.
Iran's foreign minister is expressing confidence that his country can counter any potential ground invasion by the U.S. Now, the war is causing gas prices to soar now in the U.S. AAA reports the national average jumped nearly 27 cents since last week to $3.25 a gallon. Currently, it's averaging $3.16 in New York, $3.36 in PA. Tiffany Wright with AAA tells CBS.
Iran is a player when it comes to the oil market. Oil is a global product. And so even though we don't get our oil from Iran, it has a ripple effect.
Politico reports the Trump administration is considering a temporary holiday on the gasoline tax to ease prices. Oil prices jumped by about 7% today. The war also impacting stocks. The Dow closing down over 800 points. Police in Austin, Texas today releasing body cam footage from last week's mass shooting. It shows multiple officers arriving on the scene, opening fire on the suspect and killing him. 2 victims died at the scene, a third later in the hospital. A total of 19 people struck by gunfire when that suspect opened fire with an AR-15 rifle outside of an Austin, Texas bar around 2 a.m. Sunday. Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis today.
The Austin Police Department has had no contacts with this suspect. His only interaction with law enforcement was in 2022, and that was a check welfare in an outside agency. This call was referenced his mental health.
The suspect was a 53-year-old naturalized U.S. citizen born in Senegal, wearing a hoodie with the words "Property of Allah" and an Iranian flag on his undershirt. Austin police and the FBI are continuing to investigate it as a possible incident of domestic terrorism. And influential pop star Britney Spears is out of police custody after being arrested for driving under the influence in California last night. According to TMZ, she was taken to the hospital after being pulled over so police could draw blood. Her manager told the outlet the incident is, quote, completely inexcusable, and that Spears will take the right steps in what is a long overdue change she needs in her life. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, a recap of our top regional stories and highlights from today's Faith Under Fire.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Our call for tonight: cloudy with occasional rain and drizzle. That rain freezing on some surfaces close to Lake Ontario, especially between Rochester and Niagara County. Temperatures overnight in the 30s and 40s. Then for tomorrow, it's rather cloudy, a couple more showers and some drizzle. High temperatures mid-40s to the mid-50s generally. On Saturday, it's warm in western New York and western Pennsylvania, highs in the 60s and low 70s, 40s and 50s farther east. Mostly cloudy with limited sun, developing showers, maybe some thunder for some Saturday afternoon or Saturday night.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much. Now checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania and New York are among 20 states suing the Trump administration over the president's plan to impose a 15% global tariff. New York Attorney General among 3 states leading the lawsuit. Empire State officials say Trump has overstepped his power. The same states successfully sued over Trump's tariffs proposed under a different law, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, and won before the U.S. Supreme Court. New poll out today shows Josh Shapiro with a pretty comfortable lead right now over Treasurer Stacey Garrity in the race for Pennsylvania governor. We get an update on that from Family Life's Sarah Harnish.
The Franklin and Marshall poll gathered data from an equal amount of Democrats and Republicans. Results are similar to those gathered in a Quinnipiac University poll last month. Shapiro leads Garrity by 20 points, 48 to 28%. The governor does have a huge cash lead, a 15-1 fundraising advantage over Republican Stacey Garrity ahead of the election in November. Sarah Harnish, Family Life News.
Thanks for that, Sarah. With millions of Americans catching spring fever this week, many are also sniffling and sneezing already due to seasonal allergies. Dr. Maria Strex, an immunology instructor at USC, and says start prepping before the pollen peaks.
So we always tell people, like, if you know every year is going to be bad, to prepping ahead of time, starting your medicines ahead of time is what you can do to prepare.
She tells WNEP many people think the reactions are from trees in their own yard or neighborhood, but that's not usually the case.
It's not necessarily even like what's right here in our city. It's what's blowing in from, up to 100 or so miles away that can affect you.
Her tips: take your shoes off at the door. Keep your car windows rolled up and your windows at home shut. Take a shower right when you walk in the door, too, if you can. Speaking of flowing water, it is flowing again on the mighty Susquehanna River in Wilkes-Barre. Over the weekend, an ice jam along the river broke apart. WNEP's John Meyer in front of the piles of ice 20 feet high on the riverbanks.
It really helps us tell the story of how an ice jam happens. Layer after layer after layer after layer of ice chunks pounded together, and then eventually it gives way. Can you imagine that sound when all this broke apart?
Ice jams are notorious for causing flooding this time of year, but thankfully this one did not. New York State lawmakers considering upping the ante on bottle deposits, dubbed the Bigger, Better Bottle Bill. Supporters, including environmentalists and redemption centers, want the deposit raised from the current nickel to a dime. Manhattan Democrat Deborah Glick is the bill's chief assembly sponsor. She tells Spectrum News
the purpose of it is to keep bottles and cans off of our streets and out of our landfills, which are filling up.
She also says those higher returns should mean higher compliance.
In states that have a 10-cent deposit, their redemption rate is close to 90% or better. Ours has hovered at 70%. It's an incentive to go and get your money back.
The bill would also expand the deposit system to include nearly all beverage containers except dairy and those with 100% juice. Backers also want to see the money that is given in handling fees to redemption centers to increase. All right, you're listening to the 5 o'clock report on Family Life. Up next, highlights from today's Faith Under Fire.
This is Faith Under Fire. We take you straight to the front lines of religious battlegrounds. I'm your host, Sarah Harnish. With me today, former Alabama State Senator Hank Erwin Jr. We're talking GAP 26. It is the Great American Prayer Revival. Thousands across the United States, in fact, in all 50 states, are collectively praying from a church pew, a living room Bible study, or even gathering together online. What is GAP 26?
GAP 26 is a national prayer effort, a national revival for the United States of America. It's all 50 states at the same time. That has never been attempted before, never been accomplished before in 250 years of ministry and 250 years of history in the United States of America. We decided that this year has to be the year that the country makes up its mind of who's going to be in control of America. Is it going to be Jesus or is it going to be chaos? We chose revival. What if we could put together the first ever national revival in American history and have all 50 states participating at the same time? Imagine what could happen.
So you say all 50 states involved. Are these different churches in each of the states?
It's some in churches, it's some in communities, it's some in homes, just like all of America.
GAP 26 wrapped up last night, but it set records. You did have people involved in all 50 states. And the ministry of the work of this project continues through your website and through what's happening through the training materials that are located there. So tell me more about that part.
It's gap-event.org. That's gap-event.org. And we have all sorts of materials on there that you can pull down and print out and hand out to your friends and go by if you want to put together a little home cottage meeting. This is the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. It is an anniversary that is going to set the agenda for the next 250 years. This year is not like any year ever before in our history. Our country is troubled. Our country is divided. 2026, I believe, has been divinely set up for a year of decision where the United States of America has to make up its mind who's going to be in control of our country. It's not going to be Republican or Democrat. It's going to be, are we going to let Jesus be in control of it, or are we going to let chaos be in control of it? Amazing things happen when you turn and you start walking toward Jesus. Head to the cross. That's the safety. And if we get millions of people with that same determination to walk toward Jesus and follow him, we're going to have a brand new country, and it's going to be awesome. And that's GAP 26.
Learn more at gap-event.org.
Our Sarah Harnish with highlights from today's edition of Faith Under Fire. You can hear the entire feature and all of our Family Life original news features at Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, and FamilyLife.org. This is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Imagine a day when money is everywhere and completely worthless. Hi, I'm Rob West with a Faith and Finance Minute. In Ezekiel 7:19, God describes a shocking scene. Silver thrown into the streets, gold treated like garbage, not because wealth disappeared, but because it could no longer do what people expected it to do. It couldn't protect them. It couldn't rescue them. It couldn't save. What once felt powerful suddenly feels useless. The problem wasn't silver or gold itself, it was misplaced trust. God's people had leaned on wealth for security instead of relying on Him. This passage invites us to examine what we're counting on when life shakes. Money can help us navigate daily needs, but it was never meant to be our refuge. Connect with a certified Kingdom advisor who's been trained to deliver financial advice that aligns with your Christian values by visiting our website, faithfi.com.
Thank you, Rob. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, an amazing story for you involving a newborn baby found in a shopping cart, a reunion 50 years in the making, and the mystery that remains. First, weather with Kevin.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Well, on the latest weather map, we find a front draped across Pennsylvania that'll be serving up additional rain tonight. In its wake, though, the door will open to warmer air that'll be heading our way for the weekend. The thrust of the warmth will be across western New York and western Pennsylvania, where high temperatures Saturday will reach into the 60s and near 70. The effect will be blunted farther east. It'll be cooler central New York and eastern Pennsylvania. Our call for tonight, cloudy with occasional rain and drizzle. That rain freezing on some surfaces close to Lake Ontario, especially between Rochester and Niagara County. Temperatures overnight in the 30s and 40s. Then for tomorrow, it's rather cloudy, a couple more showers and some drizzle. High temperatures mid-40s to the mid-50s generally. And on Saturday, it's warm in western New York and western Pennsylvania, highs in the 60s and low 70s, 40s and 50s farther east. Mostly cloudy with limited sun, developing showers, maybe some thunder for some Saturday afternoon or Saturday night.
All right, Kevin, complicated forecast there. Thank you very much. Finally at 5, it was August 1972. A shopping plaza parking lot in the Cleveland suburb of Fairview Park. Friends Darlene and Rita, in their 20s then, had finished shopping, and they were the first to see, inside of a shopping cart, a newborn girl.
I've always thought about her. I would think of her quite often. People say it was a miracle that we found her.
They tell Channel 5 in Cleveland they called police, stayed with the baby girl. She was checked out, released to child services, eventually adopted, and grew up as a bright, happy girl named Pearl. Became a music teacher, married, but was always missing a piece of her past, a birth certificate that told her whole story.
It's a Jane Doe certificate. It says Jeannie Westgate.
Westgate named for the shopping plaza she was founded. Well, she searched and found a newspaper article about how she was found, but then with a historian's help and less strict rules on adoption records, came a very happy reunion with Darlene and Rita.
I'm going to cry. A little baby. Oh, they're like our long-lost child. I won't forget the day that we found her, and I won't forget the day that we found her again.
But for Pearl, the search continues for her biological mom, just so she can tell her.
I think about how desperate she must have been, how scared she must have been. If I had a chance to reach out to her, I would want to tell her that it's okay.
Pearl remains hopeful that one day she and her birth mom will finally meet again. And that's the world we live in for Thursday, March 5th, 2026. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Mark Webster, Family Life News.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.